Hello, guys, it's your favorite informant reporting straight from the world government about some very spicy news. Today, we're going to be understanding the limits and capabilities of the Rock's pirates and their powers. We will be doing a detailed analysis of the Rock's crew and who they were. We'll also be scaling them and finding out how their power lies, while also uncovering some theories and some power scaling compared to the Pirate King. That being said, before we get into the video, please submit your application to join the Navy by buster calling that subscribe button. While you're at it, drop a comment below and help us on our journey to create a just world. Anyway, before we get into the analysis, let's figure out who Rox is. He's supposedly the first and greatest rival of Worl.D Roger, and in fact, he housed 3 of our 4 favorite Yonkos on his crew. These include the great Whitebeard, Charlotte Linlin, or Big Mom, and finally Kato, the King of Beasts. Very little info is known about him, and a little bit known about his crew, and even how he looks like, but it's safe to assume he was immensely powerful. I mean, he was the biggest threat to the Pirate King, he wrangled 3 future Yonkos, and he was so disastrous his records were wiped from the World Government data books. This is why only higher-uppers like Sengoku and Sakazuki were the only ones to know info about this. Furthermore, it took both the Pirate King and Garp to take down this man. So, yeah, that's a brief overview over Rocks, but we still have to analyze just how OP him and his crewmates were. First, we have Edward Newgate, also known as Whitebeard. Whitebeard is Gold Roger's second greatest rival after Rocks, of course, and perhaps the greatest pirate after the Pirate King died. Even in his 70s, the man was able to wreck practically everyone in a fight during the Paramount War and the now Fleet Admiral Sakazuki. The bounty before he died was in the 5 billion range, a feat that only Gold Roger and maybe Rocks were able to pull off. He owned the Gura Gura no Mi, which gave him the power to create very strong earthquakes. During Rox's crew, I would skill him to less than the Whitebeard we saw during the Marineford War arc. Though he was younger and less wise, he no doubt was much more athletic though, and had a more able body to fight. Of course, this isn't Whitebeard in his prime, but we can suggest that his bounty would be at least in the 2.5 billion range at this time. Rox also persuaded Kato, the strongest beast in the world, to hop on his crew. Though little is known about Kato's backstory, we all know who he is and how incredible his feats are. I mean, for crying out loud, in the latest chapter of One Piece, he lifted all of Onigashima with his dragon powers. He is clearly at least country level in his powers and has the current highest bounty of anyone in the world. Speaking of the latest chapters, Kato has now teamed up with one of his former allies on Rox's crew, and that person is Big Mom. Big Mom or Charlotte Linlin is almost just as fearsome or even more fearsome than Kaido himself. I mean, as a kid, she completely wrecked all of Elbaf due to her deadly hunger pangs. If I were to guess, I'd say that her bounty on Rox's clue was close to 1.5 billion berries. That would still lead to a 3 billion berry amount of growth in the 38 years to come. Big Mom has the power, as we all know, to animate beings. This power also allows her to steal other lifespans, as she did to her own son during one of her hunger pangs at the beginning of Whole Cake Island. Like I said, these are the future Yonkos on Rox's crew, and they make a deadly combo. However, they weren't the only names mentioned when it came to his crew. We also have to talk about Captain John, who was a very infamous pirate indeed. He only became famous when he took his powers out to sea and became a captain, you see. Supposedly, he had some very great fabled treasure that were sought after by many, including Buggy the Clown. Also, Gecko Moria had him outfitted as one of his general zombies, and he was nearly invincible to everything but salt, of course. Along with him is Shichi, a fearsome pirate who was also known as the Flying Pirate. He created his own band of pirates and became such a name that he even became Roger's rival at one point. Of course, he was beaten by the Pirate King in a fight against him and now has a steering wheel stitch in his head. He is the first ever person to escape from Impel Down as well, and he had to cut off his legs to do so. In fact, he is so OP that it took both Garp and Sengoku to take him down. In the process, half of Marineford was wrecked. There are a couple other people, though their powers are unnamed, but we can assume that Rox isn't just gonna go pick up any nobodies, so we can think that their bounty is at least in the 500 to 800 million bounty range. That being said, let's go a little more in depth on their captain. And after all, if we're going to scale this crew to other famous pirate crews, we need Rox himself to show up. Like I explained earlier, Rox was beaten because both Worl.D Roger, the Pirate King of course, and Garp, the hero of the Navy, had to team up to defeat him. It is also mentioned that Garp is on Pirate King level in terms of power and strength. If you don't know what that means, we are releasing a video soon about the power system in One Piece, so go check that out when you can. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. From this, I can say that Rox is in fact a little bit above Pirate King level, maybe 1.1 to 1.2 times that amount. This level can be called the level of rocks. I will make a video later power scaling and showing all the calcs between the strongest One Piece characters if you want to understand why I'm saying this. Of course, this video will include rocks. This means rocks could have a bounty at around 6 billion. However, since the World Government declared Garp the hero of the Navy for beating him, it would mean they really considered him a serious threat. So I'm going to bump him up by another 500 million berries, so he'll be at a 6.5 billion berry amount. First off, we already know that this crew is strong and all, but I want to see how much stronger they are compared to others. First up to compete with them is our favorite Straw Hat Pirates, and let's just say they get blown out of the seas. To be honest, I thought that their captain Straw Hat Luffy could stand a chance, but when you think about it, he wouldn't even reach Big Mom's level, who was like the 4th strongest person on that ship. Now let's compare them to the Whitebeard Pirates. They're formidable, but their first in command, Marco, only has a bounty of 1.25 billion, which is even less than Luffy's. And even if we take Whitebeard, their captain, he would probably match up against rocks, and like I said, he would get destroyed. The last crew I'll be comparing to them is Big Mom's crew, and I know you might be asking why. In my opinion, Big Mom has the strongest crew in terms of numbers and bounties. Big Mom has many people with bounties nearing 1 billion and 500 million, and their sheer numbers alone could topple the Rock's pirates. Even if someone was worth 3 billion bounties, in a fight I would still bet on 2 billion bounty fighters. This is because they can pull off more combos and do various techniques. That being said, I still think Rox's crew would edge out a win. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Also, I heard that if you press that red subscribe button, an admiral will come to your service in a time of need, so please do. It will be to your benefit. I'll be back in the next video, so until then, make sure you don't go hopping on any other pirate crews. Until then, it's East from the World Government, signing off.